In this lesson, we're going to be working on multiplying and dividing fractions. The first thing that we're going to do is to review whole number multiplication and see how it compares with fraction multiplication. So when we're multiplying whole numbers, we have three groups of 4. So that would be 3 times 4 would be 12. And you can see that the number got bigger when we do that. However, when you take a look at multiplying fractions together, we can see that we are looking at half of 2/3. So I want to know if I have 2/3 of an object and I want half of that, I'm looking at that section that's in red. Half of 2/3, if we multiply the two together, remember when we multiply it's top times top and bottom times bottom. There's 2 out of the 6 parts, and then we could reduce that. To reduce, we are going to divide the top and the bottom by the same number. 2 can go into both of those, and that would be 1/3 of the whole. So multiplying fractions, top times top, bottom times bottom. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 5 is 15. Neither one can be divided by a number that they have in common. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Neither one of those could be divided by anything that they have in common. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Now in this case, we can see that both of these can be divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. So this is simplifying a fraction, putting it in its reduced form. Again, how do we simplify fractions? Top times top, bottom times bottom, and we want to divide by what they both could be divided by, which is 2. So we get an answer of 1/3. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Now, since they both end in a 0, we know that they could both be divided by 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2, and 30 divided by 10 is 3. Next, top times top, bottom times bottom. And we know that both of these, since they're even numbers, can be divided by 2. So we get an answer of 3/8. Let's take a look at dividing fractions. Remember, dividing fractions is easy as pie. You flip the second one and then you multiply. So keep the first, change the sign to multiply, flip the second. Keep, flip, change. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and then we can simplify. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Keep the first, change the sign, flip the second. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 3 is 9. Keep the first, and remember, if it's a whole number, it always has a denominator of 1. Change the sign and flip the second. 4 times 5 is 20. Keeping the first, changing the sign, flipping the second. Top times top, bottom times bottom. And since they're both even numbers, we can divide them by 2. So we get 10/9. When you visualize dividing, you're asking, if 5 is being divided by a half, how many halves are in 5? So if we take 5 pieces and we cut each of those pieces in half, there would be 10 halves. How many halves are in 5? There would be 10. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to try these on your own, and we will take a look at them the next time we get together.